3 things that will change your life forever. And number uno, be selfish. All right, so I'm starting off with this being selfish. So this is so critical. And what do I mean by being selfish? Because if you think of being selfish, it's kind of it's a negative thing, right? But here's the one key thing about being selfish is that it's just like, even though we don't fly too much now in this pandemic, but what is the thing? You got to be able to put your oxygen mask on before you help others. This is the same thing with how you operate your day and your life. Is you got to be selfish for yourself first, taking the time in the morning to set it up to where you are going to be able to operate at maximum capacity. Is you got to take care of yourself first and foremost. So since I'm a surfer, if there's surf, I'm out getting waves, right? And I start off the day where I have it to everyone is pretty much I won't communicate back, and this is goes with all of clients, team members, etc. Is that I don't look at notifications or do anything until 9 a.m. So I am taking care of myself first. I'm typically up about like at 4:30 in the morning, sometimes 5, depending on what time I get up. But that time is my time to where I'm focusing on just myself. And so I'm gonna do number 2 and 3. So in case if you don't want to stick around to the end, but I suggest it. Number 2 is keeping things simple, and number 3 is family and love. But I'm gonna go into more detail on that. So hitting back in regards to being selfish, this is one of the things that when I wake up, I want to make sure that putting like good food in your body, putting good things in your head, getting exercise, doing the things that you absolutely love. First and foremost, and there might be some people like, oh, I got a family, I got this job, and whatever it is, go to bed earlier, wake up earlier, have the time to where nobody's up and you don't have to worry about anything. Take those notifications and turn them off. One of the things that, it's like when you're putting business and family, in order for you to operate, and I know this, if I don't get a surfer, I'm not getting exercise, I'm getting a little cranky, I'm doing these, I'm not feeling good. And you're going to be bringing off bad energy to the people that your family, your coworkers, clients. So take the morning and make sure you're taking care of yourself first and foremost. Number 2. All right, so this is one thing that I'm very guilty of a lot of times. I was a robotics engineer back in the day, right? And I like to solve problems and having it kind of technical. But number 2 is simple. You got to keep things simple. And this is an incredible reminder on the things that you do. And so, for instance, for business, so many times that we want to do is we want to overcomplicate things. But if you go back, and here's the thing that you can take from today, and I want you to go back for the last year, especially since the year before, ever since COVID, the whole world has been different. The way that we operate business is different. The way that we have our relationship, especially being in the same household, like quarantine and lockdown and everything, it's different. So if you go back to the last year and you think about what were the 1 to 2 things that brought you the most amount of cash flow and was successful, and that's business. And then you also can think about what are the 2 things that you did with your body that made it your body the best fit. Like for instance, with myself, I do intermittent fasting, so I don't eat anything until at least 1 to 2 o'clock. And I've known that that when I do this and then eating good stuff, I don't do carbohydrates, I keep it lean. And when I do that, I'm in my maximum energy. My body's looking, it's like I could be way better. But I just look at what are the 2 things, 1 to 2 things, and keep on doing that. So like with business, I look like, okay, what campaign did I execute, or what email, or what was the message? And so many times is us, and I'm going to say this us, because there's a lot of people that are entrepreneurs and creators, we get so complicated because we get bored of what we're actually doing that we want to create something new, and we forget what was actually working, and you set it up on a shelf, and then you're like, man, my income's dropped, or this has happened. Go back to what actually worked. One of the things that I'm going to go to, is because I got our Unstoppable Branding Agency. And by the way, if we still are hiring on salespeople and PR managers, so send me a DM if you're looking at it, put it in the comments, and we'll put you in connection with our COO, who will do an interview. So there's a few people that are coming on that actually saw one of my lives and applied, and now we're going to be working together. So it's very cool, and that's why I like to also reach out and share this with the people that are in my community, because one of the biggest things, and this is on the family of what's keeping it simple and doing what you love, is like the people that already have the same values, share the same viewpoints. These are the kind of people you're going to be also having the same type of culture within a community for a business is so key. So I love having people that I've been connected with either through Unstoppable Family, Unstoppable Surfer, and now people for Unstoppable Beard, and Unstoppable Beard is growing. We just we had 2 new products that just came out, which is very cool. So make sure you go to unstoppablebeard.com. All right, that's enough pitching on Unstoppable Beard, but I'm going to go to it on the simple. You want to make sure that look at the 1 to 2 things that really worked and then do more of it. All right, it's not adding more things onto your plate, it's doing the things that are just repeat of what worked, and look at it and like, why did it work? And if you notice, if you're on my emails list, you'll see things that will pop up. You're like, oh, I saw that email like 3 months ago or 6 months ago. Yes, because it worked. And you want things, and it's not just necessarily what worked. It's usually the most simple things, and it's not all the systems and the widgets that you have to have, and this course that I got to get, because if I do this, then it's gonna. And if you have too many mentors, and I'm saying too many, it's like when you're just listening to like podcasts or even listening like this, and then you're just listening all day and not acting on things, then you're like just this person that is an information junkie, and there's so many of them. For instance, we also have digital courses, but it's like 80% don't even go through the course, or don't even open, or like 50% don't even open the course that they bought, depending on what kind of value or what dollar sign. The more when I've also realized, like, when things aren't working, also it's like, you know what, maybe we should just change the price. Let's see what happens if we raise the price or even double the price. And sometimes you start working with higher end clients because it's like you're not doing anything different, but the people that are coming in, it's usually the people that are paying the least amount are your biggest pains in the butts and want everything, and they take no self-responsibility. Like for instance, one of our clients that we had our interview with for I think it was Forbes magazine, to being featured on it. And we had it with our head writer, and he was asking questions, and the gentleman says, yeah, it looks like we're going to be making 7 figures this month. And when you have somebody who's making 6 figures and 7 figures per month, they are busy. All they want you to do is execute, and they don't want it. And the thing is, these are the type of people that take responsibility. And it's not like, oh, I bought this and it didn't work. No, it's like typically you didn't work. So when you raise your prices too, keeping things simple, when you raise your prices, and this is not just it's a little different than being on simple, but you have a higher caliber of people because they respect it more, and usually are going to they take the self-responsibility, and they're not complaining, and it's less headaches. And that's one of the things that, just a simple thing that you might want to do, is just raise your prices. You got to be giving value. You can't be ripping people off. You got to be giving value. So that's number 2, is keeping it simple. Find the 1 or 2 things that has worked and repeat it. Once again, find the 1 or 2 things in the last year that worked. Pinpoint on what it was to have your spike of income, and then repeat it. Do more of it. Number 3, and this was with family, you got to have the family time. There's nothing, it's like, I feel after 23 years of being together with my wife, Rhonda, it's going to be 24 years in May, I feel that we're the closest that we've ever been right now in this moment, and then also with my daughter. Because one, I'm being selfish first, I'm taking care of myself first and foremost, and that may sound weird, but you have to be able to take it to be able to take care of yourself first, and then really sharing the time and the love. And like for just, this is one thing I do, and this will change your life forever if you just do this one simple thing. I got 3 simple things, but I want you to do this one thing. And so many people have heard this, but they never do this. For the last 5 years, I've wrote a note to my wife, something that I'm grateful about her for, or I appreciate, and I write it in her journal every single day. And then I also send a message to somebody else, like either my daughter, or coworkers, or friends, and why you appreciate them. Let people know that you care, and that will change your life forever. But these things that I'm going to recap it on: 1, take care of yourself first, be selfish. Number 2, keep things simple and keep repeating on what's worked in the past. And number 3, family, love, give gratitude. Write a letter of appreciation, not a letter, just like a few things. Write a little note, a handwritten note to your partner, or to your daughter or your son. It will go like through the roof on what your relationship will be with them. And you always have something that you can appreciate or love, and why you care and what you respect. Something that those 3 things on a daily basis will change your life forever. So that's it. Signing off from Bali, Indonesia. If you can look at the background, this is such a beautiful day. You can see Java over in the background. We got waves. Got to head over the east side. But that's it. And if you are looking for work, for a salesperson or a PR manager, we are hiring. We went from last year at this time from, I think it was like 6 or 7 employees, and now we're up to about 40. And we had to change our whole business model. But during these times where the biggest crisis are the times that you can have the biggest gains and restructuring and really enjoying, really focusing on what you really love in life. So that's it. From Bali to you, as always, be unstoppable.